Hi guys, my name is Bella, also known as Knots and Roses, and I am so excited to bring you this video today. I'm finally going to be releasing my first free crochet pattern, the Latch Crossbody bag. This is such a gorgeous piece, it's super easy to make, very beginner friendly, and I'm just so excited to see what you guys do with this pattern. Now, I originally made this bag for a friend for their birthday and I just fell in love with it. I knew I had to make another one. So here is our gorgeous bag. As you can see, we have a few extras here. We have our carabiner and we have a chain. We also have a mesh liner on the inside. Now don't be frightened about all these little extras. I got all these components from my local craft store, dollar store, and grocery shop. So it's super easy to make. It's made in one piece, one very long rectangle, and sewn up the sides to make this gorgeous bag. All in all, it took me genuinely less than a day. Detailed instructions can be found in the pattern. It's going to be all linked below, but this video tutorial is just going to give you a bit of a visual guide to help you step through that written pattern. That pattern also has links to Amazon equivalent parts like the latch and the chain. I have not tried those out, so be warned. I've also linked the exact products that I use to make this bag. So to start the video, we're going to jump straight into our little shopping vlog, and then we're going to get into the pattern and assembly of the bag. So I'll have some timestamps down below if you want to skip through it. So let's go ahead and jump straight into our shopping. Okay, so it's the next day and we're gonna go check out the dollar store for the last bits and pieces. Okay guys, we've come back from the shops. We have our gorgeous haul. So the first thing we need is, of course, the star of the show, the carabiner. Because it's so easy to change out the latch on this bag, I got a couple of other options. I also got the classic, the original, the last option we have is this little guy here. I'm actually an aeronautical engineer. And these little latches are the ones we use when we're launching rockets, so I thought that was pretty cool. So those are our three options for carabiners. The next thing we're going to need is a strap. So I got this chain, absolutely gorgeous. I have 1 meter's worth of it. You might need a little bit more if you have a bigger bust or if you just want the bag to sit a little bit lower, but 1 meter should be pretty good for the most part. The last thing we're gonna need is a mesh bag. Now I got these ones from Coles, which is Australian supermarket. They are really easy to find. You can also find them at the dollar store. This pack has a few different sizes, which is great because our Latch Crossbody also has a few different sizes. So these are absolutely perfect. I kind of like the look of them. The next thing we need is our yarn, of course. I got this gorgeous Brighton 4 Seasons from Spotlight, a pretty green color. This design is actually pretty great. You can use whatever weight yarn you like, whatever color, whatever composition. It's just going to change the final look. It's a great stash buster project. Use whatever yarn you have on hand. But this one is 50% cotton, 50% acrylic, and that's what we're going to be using today. I did get 2 of these, so they're 50 grams each. We have 100 grams of our yarn. We probably won't need that much, but today's going to be a great test to see exactly how much yarn the Latch Crossbody uses. The final thing we'll need is our crochet hook, of course. Alrighty, so that's everything we need. We're gonna go get started on the making of the Latch Crossbody pattern. Okay guys, we have our 3.5mm hook and our yarn, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started with a chain. This is like, oh my gosh. That was a massive yarn, baby. Alrighty, so start with a slip knot. We have our slip knot, and now we're going to chain to our desired width of the bag. As I mentioned before, everything is going to be written down in the pattern. You can get it for free below. So we're at a chain of 40. We're now going to start single crocheting back in the opposite direction. This is honestly the worst part of making a chain. I hate going back into a chain. Okay, so single crochet all to the end. Once you've done your final single crochet, you're then going to add an extra chain so we can turn our work. Alrighty, and now we're going to repeat that single crochet row for another 4 rounds. Here is our gorgeous single crochet base. Literally whipped it up in like 5-10 minutes. This is definitely a really quick mix. We have 5 rows total of that single crochet to start. Now we're going to work the mesh stitch. We've ended on just that last single crochet there. We're going to add a chain 3, and then we're going to turn our work. From here we're going to skip the first and the second single crochet and go into the third with a double crochet. So yarn over, insert into that third single crochet space and work a double crochet. So we have a little mesh stitch there. We're now going to chain 1, skip 1, and go into the next. And that is how we work our mesh stitch. It's all, like I mentioned before, going to be in the pattern, but super easy. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Our first one, that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet and also our first chain stitch, which is why we skipped 2 at the beginning. But from there on out, just skipping 1 single crochet space to make that mesh stitch. Keep on going on like so, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Alrighty guys, and then into that last space there. Oops. Into that last space there to finish off the row. Alrighty guys, so we have our first row of that mesh stitch. When we work the mesh stitch, we're going to work in rows of 2. We have the row that we've just done where we work our double crochet and a skip. Now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and this time we're just going to single crochet all the way to the end. When we single crochet, we go into the top of the double crochet, and we also go into the space, the chain 1 space from the row before. So let's go ahead and go back in the opposite direction. Now when we get to the end of working those single crochets, we'll come to that point where we worked our 3 chains. So do 1 into the space, and then the next one you can just do into the second chain right there. And that is your alternating mesh stitch row. So it's super easy. From here on out, we're just going to keep alternating between the two. We're going to work that double crochet row and then the single crochet row. Basically going to do that until we want our bag to end. It's super easy. It's a really chill stitch to work. It builds up really quickly as well because it's pretty gapey. So let's go ahead and get started on that mesh stitch, working the front panel, and I'll see you when we're done. Good morning guys, it's the next day. I did spend a lot of time last night crocheting. I discovered Bridgerton finally. It's amazing and I got so much done while I started that series. So I finished the first panel. It literally took like maybe 2 hours max. I'm kind of a slow crocheter. So it's looking great. Basically we did that mesh stitch to the length that we desired of the bag, and then we started adding in those ruffles. So we did our first row of 2 double crochets and 1 increase. The next row was 3 double crochets and an increase, and the last row there was just double crochet in each stitch. The way I decided when to stop those mesh stitches is I just took a look at the liner bag that I got and put them up against one another. Kind of like it when this little liner bag is sticking out a little bit, if you can imagine. Kind of made them a really similar length. So for me that ended up being 12 rows, and then I started, like I mentioned, those little ruffles. So now we have our lovely first panel done. We can go ahead and cut our yarn here. Okay, so leave a decent amount so you can weave in your ends at the end. I always overestimate this, but it's always better to have more than less. Alrighty guys, and that is the first half of your latch crossbody done. Now we're going to attach the yarn again at the bottom, and we're going to work the other side of this bag straight into the same piece, so we kind of reduce the amount of seaming we have to do at the end. So it didn't take the whole 50 grams, but I did actually use a decent amount. I'm going to weigh this at the end and see. But I'm just going to go ahead and reattach that yarn. Okay, taking a look at our work, we're going to start in the corner here, the same corner that we cut off our yarn at the top. We're going to attach at the bottom. So the way I like to do that is just by creating a slip knot, once again leaving a bit of a tail so we can weave in, create a little slip knot on this side and pull it through. Alrighty, from here we're just going to start our mesh stitch again. So I'm going to chain 3, skip 1, and go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Alrighty. And let's just keep on going ahead like that. It's going to be the exact same as the front panel, just working on the other side. It looks so weird as it is right now, but it's finished. I just finished my last row of double crochets for the frilly border, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my yarn, but we're gonna leave a really nice long tail on this side because we're going to start sewing together the sides, and we're going to start from up here. I always overestimate this. I never need this much, but this is how much I have left over. So we didn't use too much of this second ball. Now the next thing we're going to need is a tapestry needle. Pop your yarn on your needle and then just fold your sides in half. Now they should be identical, so you can just go ahead and start stitching through each stitch on the side. The double crochets, they're technically like 2 rows. I don't know if that's the right terminology. But I sew through each double crochet twice. And we're just going to keep on going all the way down until the corner. Now from the other side, we're going to attach some yarn at the top and repeat the same. I just realized that I probably could have just left this and a little bit longer on the other side, so I will make a note of that in the pattern. First time you cut your yarn, you should leave a nice long tail as well, so you don't have to touch a yarn like me. This is like a hot take, but I kind of really enjoy the seaming process. I feel like I hear a lot of people talk about how much they hate like weaving in ends and seaming like parts together, but I don't know, it's really good. I really like seeing the final piece like come together. Here it is. We're going to pop that little mesh bag inside and see how it looks. Alrighty, amazing. Liner is in. I'm going to go ahead and with that drawstring thread it through one of the mesh stitches so it kind of just pops out the other side. Our next step, we have to create a little drawstring for ourselves because we obviously have the drawstring for the inner mesh part but not the outer crochet part. So to do that, grab a hold of your yarn again and we're literally just going to chain. You can chain as much as you like. I'm going to try and count these as I go, but no promises. Okay, we're at 100 stitches or chains. I think I'm going to go a little bit longer. Because it's kind of cute to tie a little bow at the top, so I think maybe we'll go to like 140. Now a suggestion I will make, don't cut your yarn just yet, kind of pull it out so you have a lot of leeway and your chains are going to come undone, and we'll start weaving this drawstring into our bag and we can adjust the length if needed at the end. I'm going to be putting this into the first row of double crochets that we've made, inserting your hook through in between a double crochet on that first row and then just pull it through. Lovely. And then from here we're just going to keep on going in and out of these rows. There's no real method to this madness really. I might go every like 5 to 10 double crochets. So first time we went from outside to inside and grab a hold of our chain. This time we're going to go from inside to outside. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe let's go 8 stitches. Hook through, grab a hold of your chain again and pull it all the way through. Okay, so we've got the drawstring all the way through and back to the beginning. Now if you give it a cinch, we have our latch bag almost complete. It looks so cute already. So I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm happy with the length of my chain. I can cut my chain. I can cut the yarn from my chain. Alrighty guys, here's the fun part. We're gonna start adding on our accessories now. So I think I'm gonna start with the classic, the carabiner I use in the original Latch Crossbody. This part is super easy. So grab a hold of your bag. Imagine it sitting on your body. This is going to be the point that is pulling up. So I take 2 of those mesh stitches like so. I'm gonna insert the carabiner through them both. Now if you can see, my liner bag has kind of moved, so you obviously don't need to use a liner bag, but if you are like me, I am going to go ahead and punch a hole inside this liner bag as well, so it is on the carabiner too. It's just going to keep it looking nice and even and make sure it doesn't kind of fall down inside our bag. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Moment of truth, we're just going to cut a little hole in our mesh bag. Doesn't have to be super pretty. Pop that back in there, making sure you're keeping the side with the hole on the side with the carabiner. We'll take that out and try that again. So you fold it in half still. This time we have the hole in our mesh bag, also right in between those stitches. Alrighty, then go ahead and clip them all together. Amazing, so now the mesh bag is going to stay up nice and high. Don't worry about this end, we're going to come to that very soon. From here, we're going to attach our chain to our carabiner. Gorgeous. And now, to finish it off, we're going to attach this chain to the same side as the carabiner. When I attach this chain, I want to make sure to go through the bag as well. Now, for me, my little chains, I don't know if you can see, but they have a split in them. Most chains will have this, not all. The way that I'm going to attach my chain to the end of my bag is just by opening that a little bit. It's really easy to just manipulate with your hands. Open that split up a little bit wider and then pop it through the corner, through the outer crochet bag, through the inner mesh bag, and out to the other side. So that is the first chain on, and you can see my chain I've selected has 2 little loops, so I'm gonna put this second one through as well. Now don't fret if you're watching this and thinking, oh my god, I picked a chain that can't do this, or oh my god, it's too stiff. There's so many ways to go about this. Alrighty, the first way is you can buy one of these. These are really easy to use as connectors and should certainly solve your problem. Otherwise, you can also trust in your crochet skills and crochet the chain to the mesh part of your bag, and then just make sure you weave in your ends really well. And just get on like so. This is definitely a bit more of an adventurous make. It has a few little accessories, but use it as an opportunity to experiment. It is almost done. Let's cinch up these bags. Amazing, guys. That looks so freaking good. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, so now that we have it on with the carabiner, Like I mentioned before, we have some other options. I got this gorgeous piece. We also have this piece here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try styling this and try on the different clips and see which one I like best. Like I mentioned, detailed instructions will all be left in the pattern that you can find down below, but a few quick adjustments that you can make to this pattern if you like. Of course, like I mentioned before, it does involve a few extra bits and bobs, including the chain, the carabiner, and the liner mesh bag. You definitely can go without these components. I just kind of enjoy a little bit of a hardware look. The liner bag you can ditch and just have the mesh bag only. I just want to feel like I can put smaller things in here as well, just in case, like keys. But really these mesh stitches are pretty small. You're probably not going to lose anything there anyways. Now for the chain and the carabiner, you can do a very, very simple chain. So you could go ahead, attach your yarn in this bottom corner here, chain up to the length that you like that's going to fit across your body, and then attach it where we've attached the carabiner. You'll just have a crochet chain instead of a metallic chain. The other thing I will mention is these drawstring. I only did one chain, but you are more than welcome to go back and work single crochets into this, double crochets, half double crochets, whatever you like. If you would prefer a bit of a thicker drawstring, you can also go ahead and weave in these ends if you like to. So there's so many ways you can adjust this pattern, make it your own. Another modification is you don't have to cut a hole in your bag. That's probably me being a little bit lazy. You can sew the liner bag into your crochet bag. So I think it's time we go try out this bag.